Welcome along. We begin our roundup of week 26 at the Parc des Princes, where PSG played out another high-scoring thriller, this time with Bordeaux. It was the Girondins who took a surprise lead as Yuijo Huang headed in his 6th of the campaign from close range. But PSG needed just 7 minutes to equalise, a slice of history here for Edinson Cavani, the club's all-time leading scorer, notching his 200th goal in all competitions. Well, after setting up Cavani, Angel Di Maria got his 14th assist of the campaign for Marquinhos in first half stoppage time, going in off the Brazilian shoulder. Comedy goal of the weekend coming courtesy of PSG keeper Sergio Rico, who was deputising for Keylor Navas. His low clearance rebounding in off another Brazilian defender, Pablo. Well, there was certainly a Brazilian theme to the night, although it wasn't all good news for PSG. Thiago Silva went off injured and Neymar was shown a red card at the death. As for Marquinhos, he was on hand to make it 3-2 on 63 minutes. And it looked like game over when Kylian Mbappe made it 4-2 after a wonderful 1-2 with Cavani, joining Wissam Ben Yedder at the top of the scoring charts with 16 goals. Bordeaux did set up a nervy finish as Ruben Pardo rifled in an absolute thunderbolt with 7 minutes to go. PSG did get back to winning ways after the 4-4 draw in Amiens and the Champions League defeat to Borussia Dortmund, but it was far from a perfect night. Marseille's 14-game unbeaten streak finally came to an end as they were undone by Nantes at the Velodrome in their 2,500th top-flight game. The Canaries took the lead when Anthony Limbombe turned in a brilliant cross from Kader Bamba on 34 minutes. A first start and a first goal for Nantes' record signing since he returned on loan from Standard Liège over the winter break. But that lead was short-lived. 5 minutes later, Morgan Sanson got Marseille back on level terms, sweeping in superbly from range. Goal number 4 of the campaign for him. Alban Lafont got fingertips to it, but he simply couldn't keep it out. And Nantes then restored their lead early in the second half. Bamba going from maker to taker and curling this one beyond the reach of Steve Mandanda and in off the post. Not a bad way for him to get his very first professional goal. And there was even time for Nantes to make it 3-1 from a late counter-attack. Mandanda spilling an effort from Bamba. Moses Simon flying in, and in the end, it was an Alvaro Gonzalez own goal. 3-1, Marseille's first league defeat since the end of October. Rennes kept hold of third place in spite of conceding the quickest goal of the season so far. Nolan Roux needed just 33 seconds to put Nîmes in front at Roazhon Park after a lovely 1-2 here with Renaud Ripart. Roux with his second goal since arriving on loan from Guingamp in January, and Nîmes have won all 4 games that he has played in so far. Rennes though hit back on 7 minutes as Mbaye Niang brought an end to his 7-game scoring drought. Coming down the right, and it was Hamari Traoré with the ball across the area. Nîmes could only clear it as far as Niang, who scooped in his 9th of the campaign. Well, Nîmes had Anthony Briançon sent off early in the second half, but it wasn't until the 89th minute that Rennes made their extra man count. Traoré with an inch-perfect ball in for Niang, who headed in to complete his brace. Rennes remain a point clear of Lille, while Nîmes slipped back into the bottom 3. Now, Lille didn't have too much trouble seeing off a hapless Toulouse side, who've taken 1 point from a possible 48 and already have 1 foot in Domino's Ligue 2. Loic Remy opened the scoring with only 2 minutes on the clock after excellent work from Jonathan Ikone down the right. An emphatic finish to make it 3 goals this season in the first 15 minutes of games. Lille doubled their advantage shortly before half-time, coming down the left flank this time with Domagoj Branaric. And his deflected cross was tucked away by Remy. The 33-year-old is now Lille's top scorer in 2020 with 7 in all competitions. A howler from Toulouse keeper Mauro Goicoechea led to Lille's 3rd goal. Victor Osimhen squaring for Renato Sanchez to round out a comfortable win. Lille 4th and Toulouse 14 points from safety. Monaco missed the chance to close the gap on the podium as they were held in Dijon. Dijon, who are now unbeaten in 11 home games, took the lead as Mama Balde pounced on a loose back pass from Adrian Silva. A 6th of the season for the Guinea-Bissau international, who was an early substitute for the injured Mounir Chouiar. But Monaco, who had won their 3 previous games, managed to rescue a point late on. Islam Slimani's header was too hot to handle, and Guillermo Marepan slid in the equaliser. Dijon remained 17th in the table, while Monaco are 5th. Now Strasbourg will have been disappointed not to get the better of Amiens after dominating their game at the Menau. It took the visitors Amiens almost an hour to muster their first shot on goal. Gaël Kakuta testing Matt Sells. But it was Strasbourg who had the lion's share of the chances. And substitute Alexander Djiku almost snatched the 3 points at the death. A brilliant save from Regis Gertner. This one a far cry from Amiens' spectacular draw with PSG last week. 0-0 it finished. Lyon picked up a crucial, if unconvincing, victory away at Metz, snapping a 4-game winless streak. Rudy Garcia-Cyber awarded a penalty on the stroke of half-time for a Mathieu Udol handball. Alexandre Akidja was clearly off his line when he saved Maxwell Cornet's original effort, so the referee ordered a retake, Moussa Dembele stroking in his 14th of the season. Metz continued to push for an equaliser even after their top scorer Habib Diallo was sent off, but Lyon had the final word. Dembele clearing from an injury-time corner, and Houssem Aouar simply had to steer the ball into an empty net. Lyon boosting confidence before facing Juventus, Saint-Etienne, PSG and Lille. Well, after losing 8 of their last 9 games, Saint-Etienne looked on course for a precious win when Tony Bouanga put them 1-0 up in the 73rd minute against Reims, getting his 9th of the season after a fine ball in from Frank Honorat. But there was a late twist as Yann Villa, filling in at centre-back, brought down Boulaye Dia in the area. The referee awarding a penalty. Dia dusting himself off and converting for his 7th of the season. That was 1-1. Saint-Etienne 2 points above the relegation playoff place before next week's derby in Lyon. Angers picked up their first win of 2020 and their first home win since November as they got the better of Montpellier at Raymond Copper. The only goal of the game came midway through the second half. Stefan Bauerkan powering in a header just 1 minute and 13 seconds after he came off the bench. Angelo Fulgini providing the assist as Bauerkan got his first goal since November and his 3rd of the campaign. Angers also ending a 3-game scoring drought as it finished 1-0. Montpellier have only won 1 game away from home all season. Nice will be frustrated after squandering a 2-goal lead to draw with Brest. Adam OUNAS put Patrick Vieira's side ahead on 23 minutes, getting the final touch after Alexis Claude Maurice pulled back for Kasper DOLBERG. This is his first Ligue and Conforama goal since back in May 2017. Well, OUNAS returned the favour 10 minutes later after surging forward on the counter. His pass was a little bit behind DOLBERG, but the Dane still conjured up an excellent finish for his 9th of the campaign. 7 of them coming on home soil. Brest managed to get one back before the interval. Johan Kor's attempt was saved by Walter Benitez, but Samuel GRANDSIR was on hand to sweep in the rebound. And GRANDSIR would also be involved in the equaliser not long after the restart. His shot pinballing its way into the back of the net. Of 2 Nice defenders, it went down as a DANTE own goal. 2-2 the final score. So all the results on week 26 with 28 goals scored. Only 2 wins away from home, with Nantes ending Marseille's excellent run and Lyon getting the better of Metz. PSG have now conceded 11 goals at the Parc this season, which is more than they did during the whole of last term. Capital Club are nevertheless 13 points clear of Marseille at the top, but only 1 point separates Rennes and Lille in the battle for 3rd. No fewer than 5 teams are then locked on 37 points, from Lyon in 7th down to Nantes in 11th. It doesn't look like there's any way back for Toulouse now, but Amiens could still claw their way out of danger. 5 points the gap to Nîmes and Dijon. Saint-Etienne hovering dangerously above the drop zone, with Angers 4 points better off in 14th. Marseille will be looking to get back on track in Nîmes on Friday before PSG welcome Dijon to the Parc in a fixture that they won 8-0 a few years ago. Nantes will host Lille on Sunday before Lyon entertains Saint-Etienne in the derby.